If we go through Clix's VODs for FNCS, a game that he won, they're shooting hideout, right? Okay, cool. They shot hideout. They're not going for it, but they're just gonna shoot it out. This is actually in a meta where there's not nitro. This is how you win the game. They look for it again, right? They shoot them out, look for it again. Okay, now they dropped again. So now this team's connected to them twice. They're connected 2 clicks right here. Boom. They're on you. So you have 2 options here. You could chop them out again, which isn't gonna do anything because they're already so shambles. He goes for the chop out, but really what the right play was, what Vino did, is just go for the fight here. Because the team, the only option they have is to spray in the box, jump on their sides, right? Like the only option is to take a shotgun fight here. So Vino just knows that. This will all be posted on the Ceice Thesis YouTube, right? With a ton of other content. We're gonna have not only this, but we're gonna have some private VOD reviews of me and my duo just watching our games, or maybe we're you know, when we're studying other players, we're gonna have that up there as well. Right? So the Ceice Thesis YouTube is gonna be a one-stop hub for all things like pretty much long form. Like it's not going to be 5-hour long VOD reviews, right? Nobody does that. But like if I spend 30 minutes helping one of you guys, that'll be a 30-minute video, right? It's going to be kind of raw. You're going to be able to go back and see or experience, or if you have to leave, you're going to have to come back. You're going to be able to go back and see what we learned. And then the main channel, of course, you guys know my main YouTube channel, just Ceice. That's going to be more targeted towards like direct content of just educational Fortnite. It's still going to be something you're going to be able to learn from, but it's going to be, I guess, more condensed and just like here, if I was to explain how to 1v1, right, I would spend 30 minutes explaining it, which is great because you're going to get a lot out of it. People watching or they're, you know, hearing it are going to get a lot out of it. But for YouTube, right, like sending that 30-minute video to a 9-year-old who has the attention span of like a squirrel isn't going to be able to do anything with it, right? Like, so that's what I'm doing on my main channel, just trying to make more condensed thoughts. My thoughts shortened. So I made a video yesterday, which is in the announcement channel. I'd appreciate if you guys could go drop a comment on it, drop a like type shit. I got a lot more cooking. So this is, I'm not gonna, I don't really work for views. I don't really work for impressions or any of that. So this video has 723 views. You know, it's a new video, whatever. I'm on to the next. Like I've already got a next video planned. It's already ready to go. And the next one's going to be going over aiming. So we're going to do everything, right? I did build moves. I might do it again. I might do aiming again. We're going to do aiming. We're going to do mechanics. We're going to do game sense. We're going to do it. We're going to do everything. We're going to cover why game sense is important, how people started getting, like, we're going to it's kind of like a narration in a way, like explaining how to get game sense, how to get better, how to get smarter, but in a more condensed video. So instead of like me rambling for 30 minutes. So that's on the main channel, right? And then this is the big part, right? So Tuesday Thesis, how do you get your gameplay watched, right? Again, I'm reading from the Tuesday Thesis channel. If you guys want to read this on your own time. Gameplay submission will be on the day. Okay, so here we are today. Every Tuesday it'll be on the day. I'm going to open the channel, footage submit, right? The first 5 to 10 minutes of the session, I'll be gathering gameplay, right? So I'm about to open up the channel after I answer these questions. Like as soon as I start answering questions, I open the channel. So you guys can start putting gameplay in. Okay, first come, first serve, right? The best form of gameplay will have priority, right? So I want to have good gameplay to watch. I don't want to have you guys having to watch bad gameplay either, right? Like I think the worst form of studying the game is in regular replay files. And at a pro level, sometimes you have to do it, but it's always very brief. Like it's not the most informative. You can't see your own mats. You can't really go and see everybody on the map. You can't really, it's like, you know, it's regular replays. It's a short little in and out, right? So there's a priority here, right? So the best form of gameplay will have priority. So if you send a replay file as your first thing, even if you're first person, doesn't matter. If someone below you sends a recorded gameplay uploaded to YouTube, they're getting priority. Just because it's better to watch that, right? It's easier to watch that and learn because we can see exactly what you're doing and everyone can feel like they're in your shoes, right? When you're watching replays, it's a third person perspective. You've got name tags and you can start to kind of like overthink a lot, right? Like you can, you know, what if I did this? If I did that? If I just knew there was a player in this cone here, I wouldn't have ran over it. It's like, no, let's watch the real deal, the real game, right? Like that's how you can learn a lot, right? So whenever I'm studying at a pro level, like last night, I'd recommend all of you guys do this as well. But last night I watched Clicks. He streamed it. He streamed the entire week 1 that he won, right? Go watch that. He won the week 1 and he live streamed it. You can see his comms, his duo's comms, his coach's comms. It's a great watch, right? So those types of perspectives are always better. So again, going off the priority, recorded the gameplay, uploaded to YouTube, recorded the gameplay, uploaded to Google Drive so I can download it. Basically the same thing. If you can't upload to YouTube, I don't know why you would just do Google Drive instead. whatever, giving options. And then game ID replays. I'm going to screen share so you guys can see how to get these game ID replays if you guys aren't familiar. Let's do this. Okay. You guys are in here? You guys can join up. Okay, cool. So game ID replays are really simple, right? So let's just go to this event that's happening right now, Metallica Cup, right? Let's just say this is one of you guys, AST Noah, right? And you want to watch your 32 kill win. You go to your Fortnite tracker, right? Let's if we go to AST Noah's Fortnite tracker, just go up here, boom, right? So this is his Fortnite tracker. Go to events, right? Metallica Cup, whatever, right? We're there. You click on it, brings you to the bottom, brings you to where you are, right? You go to first place. Let's say you want to watch the first place game. You click this little yellow square, and then this yellow square pops up on a different page right here. Session ID. I guess it's a session ID. Let me just edit that so it makes more sense. Need some water. Holy shit. Okay. Session ID replays, right? So boom, get the session ID, post in the Discord, and I'll watch that over the last thing, which would be regular replay files. Yeah. So that's it. That's how you get your gameplay watched. I'm now going to open the footage submit channel, and we'll let it roll from there. I'm going to answer the questions now. And yeah, what we're going to do is we've got about an hour and a half here. I'm going to try to keep it limited time so that way it's easier to watch on YouTube after. It's easier for you guys to not have to feel like you're spending hours and hours in here, right? That's just like unnecessary, and it keeps me productive, keeps you guys productive, moving on the day, and we all become more successful off of not overspending too much time on this. Because again, every week, every Tuesday, right? Every Tuesday, 2 p.m. CST, I'll be here. All right, I'm gonna open up the footage submit. Let's see, permissions, thesis, boom. All right, 3, 2, 1. You guys can share your links now. Okay, going into VOD questions here. I'm gonna screen share my entire screen here so you guys can see everything. There might be an echo. Let me just restart this actually. It's so finicky with Discord. Okay, now you guys can hop back in. Okay, we drink some water here. God, I'm going through a personal race today. I just finished doing a VOD for an hour. About to do this with you guys for an hour and a half. About to do another VOD for an hour. Then I'm about to play scrims. VOD of those scrims. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a long day. Let's go. Okay. So Amrit says, how can I keep my fighting and aim mechanics skills consistent? There's a great few weeks, but then they suddenly get really bad. I practice a lot, but nothing seems to help until I take a break. After the break, my skills are back to normal, but I lose weeks of progression. This happens. It's been happening for a while. Is there a way to stop this cycle to keep improving steadily? That's a phenomenal question. Well written, everything. Yeah. So in short, right? Sounds very basic, and I'll go deeper into all of this. But a warm up routine. You need to have a routine, right? So every day. No matter, I don't know how much hours you can spend on the game, whether it's 5 hours, an hour a day, 2 hours, 10 hours a day, right? Everyone has different times. Maybe it's only at night. Maybe it's only in the morning. But whatever your amount of time is, if you can dedicate 3 hours a day to the game, I think you can be very successful. I think that a lot of the pros that you're watching and you guys are seeing play, not a lot. Some of them are actually only putting in like 4 or 5 hours a day into the game, and they're making grand finals, and they're making these cash cups, and they're doing well. Maybe they aren't winning the season, because you can't really be successful winning the season and only putting in 3 hours a day. Like maybe Peterbot could have done it last season, but he put in a lot of time, like lots and lots of time. And when you have that winning chance, you'll realize it and you'll understand to capitalize on it even more, right? So instead of putting in 5 hours, you'll put in 8 hours, 10 hours a day, because you are landing at a spot that's powerful. You're the best team in the region. Like Peterbot isn't going to not take advantage of last season's, chance, right? That was his chance, and he capitalized on it. So in that entire thing, right? Create a consistent routine with the time that you have. If you have 3 hours, right? 1 hour a day is minimum of warm up, right? It's minimum of like your mechanics training, whatever you want to focus on that day. If it's aim mechanics, if you want to do both, it's an hour on each, or 30 minutes on aim, an hour on mechanics. That's how I do it typically. I probably spend playing the game. I probably spend about 5 or 6 hours a day, maybe more. And then I spend probably 3 or 4 hours, doing things like this or watching the game, studying my games, whatever, right? So keep it consistent, right? So show up every day, do an hour, and then I think a big thing in when you're doing your training is kind of have I mean, like you probably already have this, but kind of have like a warm up, like whether it's free building for 5 minutes, like think about what you want to do and then execute that. So for me, for Kovaxing, and I can launch my Kovax here so you can see it. By the way, these scenarios, for those that want it, this is all being recorded, so it will be posted, but I'm going to post all these scenarios, or the ones that I suggest playing, in my new video. So if you're wanting my Kovax scenarios, you can get them now if you want to screenshot the screen or go back and watch this video. But I would recommend playing these here, right? So here's my warm-up routine, 18 minutes. The reason I have this one, there it is right there, so you can screenshot the screen right now. There's like the share code. The reason that it's like this, and I'll quickly go through this, right, is it's not to train my shotgun aim. This isn't training my SMG tracking or my surge aim or whatever, right? This isn't training my mechanics. It's just warming up my hands, my eyes, right? This is the first thing I'll do when I hop on the game. Right away, straight to this, right? This is not, like I said, this is not an ideal shotgun training. If I want to play shotgun, I'll go do this, right? This is a lot harder. You know, this one, and then we'll skip ahead to this one, right? This is shotgun training, right? This is like micro tracking. This is shotgun training, right? Right? That's not what a warm-up is. A warm-up is to just get your eyes ready, get your hands ready, get your brain adjusted. Like when you sleep and wake up to, you know, start your day fresh, it's going to feel differently every day if you don't do some type of warm-up, right? So this is 18 minutes long. It's supposed to be pretty short. You sit down, listen to some music, 3 or 4 songs in, you're done, right? Maybe more, depending on if you're. I listen to Bohemian Rhapsody on repeat, so it's more like, you know, two versions of that. But yeah, no. So this has some shotgun stuff, as you can tell. It has the close fast shotgun strafes, but it ramps up, right? Like it gets easier and harder, or it gets harder as it goes, I should say. So that's a great thing, right? Have a warm up routine in Kovacs, right? So you get your eyes ready, start that. That's very simple. And then the same thing in game, free build, do a mechanics training routine, like, and then you can start doing your crazy things. Maybe it's edit courses, maybe it's PGing a player, whatever it is. Like be consistent in that, and that will help you. Every day when you show up, you'll start at the level you finished yesterday, if that makes sense. So that way you keep building progress on the day. So if you do a warm-up routine and it's consistent, and you go into the day, you did it already, you're going to be already where you were when you finished your day. And now if you put in more time into mechanics and more time into aiming, right? So if I did the warm-up there, and then I do my typical like shotgun routine after that, right? And then after that, like maybe not all consecutively, maybe that's what I did yesterday. Like yesterday I did the warm-up routine, I did a little bit of shotgun training. And then at night, it was like 3 a.m. last night, I played micro tracking because I've been really trying to focus on my micro aiming, right? So now I'm 2% better than the day I was before, or yesterday, right? 2% better today than I was yesterday. So that's how I'm going to keep improving my aim. And I've been seeing that to be extremely successful over my entire career. So have a good warm up, and you repeat that warm up every day and just keep adding on top of it to get better. How to take height in solos at the right time and the right way. Height take strats. When should you drop AR or shield for medkits? Okay, I'm going to show you. This is not a finals game, but this is exactly what I would do in finals. Okay, again, this meta, I want to explain this meta. You guys know this. We're all playing the cash cup together. This meta is horrible. Like this is just not. This meta is actually just, it's not the same game. Like, so here, I had 1 game to qual. I needed to win this game, right? If I did not win this game, simply, I would not have qualified. I didn't need like a 20 kill win. I needed a 0 kill win to qualify. So I'm just going for that, right? I'm just like not trying to miss out on the finals. I'm trying to get some content. I'm trying to compete still, right? I'm trying to have a chance to make some earnings, whatever, right? So this is a game where I'm going for a win here, right? So here I am, right? All I'm doing is constantly looking at height here. That's all it is, right? So here, look up, right? Okay, I see he's connected. Okay, so maybe I can chop him out here. Maybe I should, whatever, right? See what he does. I'm kind of analyzing the player right now. I'm seeing, okay, is this guy good? Is he spraying? What's he have for his gun? I try to pressure him out. Again, this is not a hard lobby. This is like 10 players. This is a very easy win here. I'm not saying this is a great showing, but I've done this many times. Like last season, I'm sure some of you guys have watched me do this live on Twitch already, but it's easy to go for these wins. You just look at height and get it. Like there was a time where I got like a first and second place by doing the same thing in the finals. And I should have won both games. All right, so here you just look at height, spray them out, right? There I didn't get to chop them out, but I'm gonna do it now. You land up elevated, right? So you're seeing I climb up layers here. Then I look back here, right? So you're seeing me, I'm kind of reloading my things, looking back here, looking deeper in storm here. I probably could have looked a little deeper, but there was a floor here. I think that's probably why I didn't do it. Right, so here's deep enough, right? And again, it's not a pro player, so he doesn't really recognize that I'm chopping him out here. So chop him out. I listen to the audio cue. Obviously, there's no audio for you guys playing. There's nothing for me either, but in the game, I remember there was audio cue of him. I could hear the builds breaking. So I heard it break, right? So here I pop my nitro. Now I know height's up only connected by me. So that's great. So I go up, right? Again, I know this isn't a great player, so whatever, right? Here, I don't get height right away. I go for a pump shot. I don't get it. No big deal. I go for a spray out again, right? Even if it's like a spray out to bait him to drop on my walls, right? So like that, right? Build the walls, spray it out. I don't actually break him here, which is fine. I probably should have, but and you just go for it, right? So the big thing there is just that I win the game. That's just easy after that, right? So just spray height out, but do it the right way. Spray in the back of zone. Don't like show yourself when you're spraying, you know, take it slow and just play the war of attrition, right? So a big thing we can watch is like Clicks' VODs here. If we go through Clicks' VODs for FNCS, a game that he won. I was just watching this one like last night. So he did exactly what I did, but in the grand finals, right? Like in the weekly finals, whatever, right? So here, they're shooting hideout, right? Okay, cool. They shot hideout. They're not going for it, but they're just going to shoot it out. This is actually in a meta where there's not nitro. This is how you win the game in solos. Duos. This is how you win in duos always. So you just keep looking height, layer up, right? Like this is it right here. So Vino just layers up, right? They heal up, whatever. They look for it again, right? They shoot him out, look for it again. Okay, now they dropped again. So now this team's connected to them twice, right? So Vino goes ahead again, right? Here, they've already rotated ahead. I just skipped ahead, but they're about to go again. All right, so boom, they go again. Simple rotates, easy. They're staying elevated, right? Hop and fizz, keeping themselves healthy. Right, so now they go for it again, right? Easy. Same thing. Shoot in the back here, in the back of zone. Now this team lands on them, right? So you'll see here in a second here. They're connected 2 clicks right here. Boom. They're on you. So you have 2 options here. You could chop them out again, which isn't going to do anything because they're already so shambles. So if you put yourself, try to watch this, right? And put yourself in the perspective of the team above them. This team above them has just got chopped out 3 times. They're forced to connect 2 clicks now, which means they know either they're really low on mats because they're forcing to connect to clicks, right? So they have to kind of just play like, you know, this team probably above them probably has like 10 builds each. Like they probably are very shambles, right? So instead of spraying them out here, he goes for the chop out, but really what the right play was, what Vino did, is just go for the fight here. Because the team, the only option they have is to spray in the box, jump on their sides, right? Like the only option is to take a shotgun fight here. So Vino just knows that. Vino's a very smart height player and he goes for height. They don't even fight for it because they can't. Like that guy was whited and probably had no mats. Like they're jumping around. They're not even building. That guy's going for a flying jump shot, right? This is last ditch effort, which is smart. He kind of has to do that. Like if you have height, you got to send height. That's a big thing too when you're going for high ground is commit to it, right? Like you'll see that just because they get fought here, and I know obviously they're winning the fight, they're on high ground, but just because they get fought and they get hit weak or whatever, or because they are weak, they don't just give it up. They commit to it. They have to take it. You don't have to commit to high ground. You have to take it. So here he has 130 builds and he's just fully committing to it. He's used pretty much all his mats just to get on high ground, which is fine because it wins in the game. Now we go through the game. He wins the game. Boom. So all they did was shoot out height, tarp ahead. Shoot out height, tarp ahead. And when they shot out height, they shot from the back, right? And they made it not obvious when they shot it out. They didn't like edit their roof and shoot them out. They didn't shoot them to bloom fight them. They just shot them out, chopped them out. So you just do that in solos. Exactly what I did in my VOD. You do that in solos. And that's how you win games. That's literally the easiest way to win a solo cash up game in a meta where there's no nitro. Again, duos, there is nitro. Obviously, he's winning the game. I'm not saying that you can't win from doing this. But in solos, it's just way more hectic. The medallion guys on high ground. Oh my God. The medallion guys on high ground, right? It's just a mess. Solos is a mess. Like we all understand that. Okay. What's the ideal time to rotate in all zones? Early, late game, center, edge? That's a very broad question. It's hard to answer. It's based off of your scouting, right? So the best thing I can explain to you is you need to be in your box, right? So let's just say this is like, let's draw this up. This is the zone, right? This is like half in, half out. Let's just do this. right? You got to go to this zone, okay? And you're here, right? So all you have to do is when you're waiting for the zone to pop, you don't know this is the zone next. You have no idea. You're just planning, okay, if it pulls here, you know, I'm going to go down here, come across and cut up here like this. Boom. Okay. Right. If it pulls here, I'm going to go straight across, hit this tunnel and go there. Right. If it pulls to me, I'm just going to go instantly and, you know, slowly work my way in with wood until I get to the dead side and then I'll refarm my brick. Right. It doesn't have to be that deep, but have some type of strategy in mind and a game plan of option A, B, C. I've explained that a ton, but that's the best way to explain rotates and like being more consistent on them. Because you'll know, right? Like on a zone like this, maybe there's a guy here. Maybe there's a guy here. Let me just put 2 more here, right? Like this is your hardest rotate. So if this is your hardest rotate, maybe that means you need to go earlier because everyone else here in on these yellow markers, let's just make you red, right? You're red. Hold on. You're red, okay? So everyone on yellow is going to be doing the same thing that you're going to do if you don't do this, right? As soon as the zone shows, okay, let's just imagine the zone pulls here. Let's just draw another scenario. Boom. Okay. Zone pulls here. As soon as the zone pulls, everyone on yellow marker is going to open their map, look at the zone, you know, start fizzing, start nitroing. They're going to sort their, you know, they're going to reload their guns. They're going to close their walls. They're going to be looking at their cone, right? Meanwhile, if you went instantly, you're already here. You're already right past them and you're boom, you're gone, right? So they're still in their maps. They're still looking at zone. They're still trying to scout out. Okay, there's a river. There's a hill. Okay, this is the best spot. Or this is the best spot. Like, no, screw all that. You're gone. Like on a poll that is this complicated, or could be this complicated, you're going, right? So same thing on this poll, right? Like if you were early to go here, this team is still in their maps. They're still all looking around, trying to figure out what they want to do. While you're already right here. You're already in the zone. Boom, you're done. So that's just pre-plan your rotates. That can happen for the entirety of the game. How do I get good / improve fighting? I have the aim mechanics, but my fighting is not that good in game. I just lose my fights. And what is the most efficient way to improve that? So simply, realistics is going to be the best way to do it, right? The name is in the title, realistics, right? The next thing that's going to help you is peak training, because you're going to understand what peaks are really good. And just in general, challenging yourself, right? Making sure that you are going against better players constantly. And just, you should be losing in creative. It's creative for a reason. You're just going to be challenging yourself. Like when I PG my teammate Jack, I literally get mollywopped. I get smacked. Like it's like 50-2 or something like that. That's a little bit, come on. That's not that bad. But it's like 50-20, all right? So it's still bad. But I'm challenging myself every day. I PG him. I get better every day. Just even slightly. I'm not noticing it every single day, but over a week time, I've noticed me versus now, me versus a week ago, I'm way better. So I just got to keep doing that. Got to keep challenging myself against other players. Like wagers, all those things are great because everyone plays really, really, you know, they play really serious. They don't want to lose the wager. They want to lose the fight. What is the best way to rotate in partial zones? 6 to 8. I like to rotate. I kind of just said it right. You want to be able to plan your rotates. That's going to be the best way to do it. Nitro is obviously the best mobility, right? So nitro. Anytime you rotate, if you have a fizz always. Fizz nitro, fizz skull, fizz hit the tunnel. Like everything you do is fizz, right? If you just have a fizz, obviously you're just going to use the fizz. So you always want to combine it with fizz. I like to ask when I'm landing in Underworld with a duo. It depends on the zone. It depends on the zone. Depends on the players. Depends on the elo that you're in. It depends on how many points you're at, how many points you need. Right? Like if you need a really good game, maybe you don't go for the bunker. If it's a really bad game and it's bad elo and you know you can kill everybody around you, go for the bunker. Right? So it's all about that. What should I be doing in mid game for solos, and how do I get consistent in playing mid game, because that's where I struggle in solos. Yeah, mid game is going to be all about getting out of your POI early, right? Trying to get out as fast as you can, being efficient, right? If you land classy, right? Having a loot route that, you know, boom, 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 and then you're out, right? Just this is an imaginary loot route. Okay. Having a quick loot route, doesn't matter where you land. Having a fast loot route is very important. And then just sitting in a bush, like that's my game plan in solos. And in finals and opens, if I need to qualify, if I need to win the game, I'm going for a bush. I'm just going to rotate, bush, rotate, bush, rotate, bush. Just try to save your mats as much as possible. And then when you do have to build on rocks, right? All those things are important. And then when you are in your box, I don't know how to draw other than my game is downloaded now, but the stare at it, right? Like the stare at it, I don't know how to explain it here. There's like the quadrants like this, right? And there's like the little triangles or the little, oh my God, rectangles, right? This is a stare, okay? Imagine you're editing your stare right now, right? This is horrible. But take your stare and just flip it like this, right? So that way you have a lot more protection in your box. So people, if they nitro in, they don't just like, they can't just get in, right? This is the best way to do it. Flip your stare like that. Cool. All right, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna close this channel and then we're gonna get into the VODs. We do, like I said before, we do about 30 minutes of question and answer. I'm sorry I didn't get to every question. I know there's a lot of really good questions in here. But again, first come, first serve. If you want your question answered really bad, just be here on time. Sorry, GB. But we're going to get into the footage. So you guys have submitted footage. I'm going to close this channel because this is definitely more than enough. Let's go. Okay, so Fecky sends these, it scrims. This is just going to be bumped down. Rick Star with the YouTube link. Let's go. This is one game, right? Nice. So landing, you're uncontested. You guys don't have audio, right? I need to give you guys audio, huh? Or I think it's fine. So I want to be able to draw and show you guys things, and I can't do that if I give you audio. So my apologies. So this looks like the finals, right? You guys both disengaged. That's good. Oh, you are still going. Nice. It's always really important in solos, if you can, to take out the guy in your POI. Like, just get him out. Like, you don't want to be lurked on or any of that stuff. Like, I always try to do that at my spot. Just take him out, play your game like that. Now you're getting keyed by another guy. Looks like you run away, which is good. Overall, you're shambles, right? You don't have a lot of mats, you don't have a lot of loot. So maybe it's just where you're landing. Like, it looks like you're landing in the vault building. Probably not the best spot for loot in general, like, consistently. The big thing with solos is you're not going to be going against pro players constantly, right? Like, don't feel like you have to land at a spot that's super shambles. And also, even if you're like this going out for, you know, you're leaving, don't feel like every player is impossible to kill. Like, you can go kill anybody, right? This guy is clearly not aware you're lurking on him, right? But this is the struggle really in solos, is if you're playing shambles and you're playing like really like kind of like this, you know, green guns, 500 mats each, or, you know, no metal. It's a rough game to play. It's hard to be consistent, winning games consistently with this loadout. You're gonna need to go for a kill eventually. So here it might be your kill. Yeah, perfect. So you understand. You can tell these players. That guy just gave you a gold pump. Perfect. Now you're off. Like, now you're good. Like, you've got a great loadout. Your AR doesn't really matter that much. You have a gold pump. You're good. Now you win this game. So Fizz Geyser is a great thing too, because it takes you further. If you can, always pop a Fizz. 5 Fizz isn't gonna be the worst thing in the world. And then keeping an eye on medallions is really important too, right? So when you're going up here, right? So you see all the medallions are gone. So someone has all of them, or like one player has, you know, each, whatever. Right? So knowing there's one guy near you, but you can't see the other ones because you're not in render yet, but you're about to be. So now you can kind of see on the mini map, you can see there's 2, right? So there's one to your left, one to your right. I don't know why it doesn't show on the actual map, but maybe it does. I'm just not able to see it. But just like I explained a couple minutes ago, it was just find a bush, right? So instead of boxing here, even though it's on brick, just there's an infinite amount of bushes to find. Right? This is just gonna get you keyed. This is gonna put a target on your head of like somebody who wants to just key in these games. Because we've all seen it. Peterbot drops 40 bombs, right? Like, you might be in his game, you might be in some pro's game that wants to go just key, or somebody that just wants to fight. Solos are also a great way to practice fighting. That's just like, it's just how it is. So don't feel like you have to sit in a box here. I would just recommend not sitting in a box here. Because then, you know, again, same thing on this rotate. Someone sees you from a distance. They know you're there. They can follow you behind you. They can whatever. They can do whatever they want to you, right? Versus there's a bush right there. So you could have sat in that bush, saved all your mats, saved all your time, and then as soon as zone pulled, hit the tunnel, right? So bushes are your friends. This is good. Fizz tunnel. All right. So next, now you're off, right? Find the next bush. That's your next goal. Or maybe it's the building here. It doesn't have to be a bush. Like maybe not this house, right? Maybe the one more to your left is the building you sit in. Extra nitro, that's good. Cap up, perfect. Keep going, right? Go center, center, center. Center, bush, center, bush. So here, there's builds here. All right, so yeah, this is a great spot. And yeah, you can reform metal, but you're going to put a target on your head versus like, if we go to, let me just go to this site. Oh, Siren. Give me 1 second. Then I can show you all the bushes. So this is a great site. There's lootlake.info, right? This is a good site. I don't know if this one has bushes. Maybe it does. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So here, look, right? You are, let me see. You are here, right? Like you're right here. There's a bush right here. There's a bush here. There's a bush here, right? These are great spots to go right next to you. Right? So this entire time you're farming your mats back because you have to, which is good. You should be, but you're just putting a target on you. Someone wants to see you. Someone sees you. Maybe you're not wearing a great skin or they think you're a bad player. Whatever the reason is, you're getting keyed. So this avoids more mid-game deaths. Like if you're dying a lot mid-game, this might be the reason why in solos. So we'll skip ahead here because you're just sitting. This is fine. Seems like you sit. So you rotate here. Let's see. So you go key this guy. I'm not sure why, but probably because you got hit, or maybe just because you're the GOAT. Oh, you just wanted to. Okay, that's fine. I mean, only wasted wood. Now you're back in your box. But imagine you're in a bush, right? It's easier to fry people. It's easier to just jump in. Nobody knows you're there, right? I did that yesterday in the Cash Cup. I just sat in a bush, waited for someone to just run in front of me. I fried him. I fought him. I already had the advantage. I hit him 120. He's already 80 HP. Nitro in his box. He's dead. Next situation happened. Some other guy was fighting. I third party the fight. I watched them fight. I wasn't going to go fight if they weren't going to get hit because I needed the game. Right? He ended up getting hit. They traded damage on each other. And I said, okay, they're both on 100 HP max. I'm max HP and they have no idea I'm here. I'm going to run in. And I did, and I killed them both. Right? Boom. Bushes are very powerful in solos. All right, so zone goes, whatever. You're sitting here. This is fine. All right, so just like I explained earlier, like this drawing here, where like you are the red player, right? These are the enemies around you. You are actually no, you are the yellow players. This is showing everybody. This is what everyone else looks like, right? No disrespect to you, Rickstar, but like everyone else is doing what you're doing. They're in the map. They're zooming in on the zones. They're waiting for it to go, and they're just oh, it goes. You want to go there maybe, and then now you're out. By that time, you see the guy right there. Let's see. Quickly, there's a freeze frame here. Right there. There's a guy. You'll see him in a second here. Oh, there you go. You see me. He's at the reboot. It's very hard to see, but he's there. That guy's already gone because he's doing what I've explained. You just go instantly. Or he planned out, he knew where he wanted to go. Guy's already gone. See? That guy's already gone. So that should have been you. You just nitro and go. You're overcomplicating it in these games. Nitro and go. Here's a bush you could have sat in.
Wait, can you hear me? Is there skill-based matchmaking here?
And just go. Just go. The win is the only thing that matters here, not these kills. This is just... So because you shot at that guy, you lost 100 wood, 100 brick. Basically. 100 wood, 50 brick.
No.
And that's just less mats down. Now you run into a bush. Without clearing the bush, someone could be in here. Someone should be in there. That's a great spot to sit. To just wait for someone like you to run into it. And that's a kill. That's a mat refresh that somebody might need. They could tarp it in the zone. They can do whatever they want. They have a gold pump now, everything. You're going to get hit really weak, then nitro. That's in this meta, you're dead. They're guaranteed if you get hit for 100, you're dead. So same thing here. When you're shooting somebody on the bridge, if somebody hits you for 100, you're dead. You're going to die with nitro. They're going to jump right in. It's over.
Ooh.
So you get in zone here, and again, it's a little bit more choppy because you didn't go early, because you didn't plan your rotates beforehand, because you didn't think about where it could have gone and how you'd want to execute it before it showed. So now you're not like that guy that was in front of you that's running. If we were able to see the replay, I'm sure he's deeper. He's in a better spot. He's on a refarm. He didn't waste any mats, right? Like that's just the war of attrition in this game. Like you are going to be at a disadvantage compared to that guy now going forward. If he tarps it out and you tarp it out, he's going to go for longer. You see, I get hit weak. You missed your shot. No big deal. He's dead. Now this gets you. Now this puts a target on your back, right? So stare in your box right away. Making space doesn't really matter too much because they can just go right through your builds, right? This guy might do it. Nope, he doesn't. This is why it's just not as needed to go for these kills. Like this doesn't help you at all. You didn't get anything from this. You got a kill point, and that's like cool. I mean, if you want to practice fighting, do it. I encourage you to do it. Go fight people, but don't just be so random with it, right? If you're gonna fight, fight. If you're not gonna fight, if you're gonna play for the win, play for the win. You know. So you're back at where you started. You got medkits, which again doesn't really matter because in the end game, right? Like I've won so many games where I haven't even carried like 6 medkits. I'm not even focusing on carrying medkits. I just kill for the medkits later on because everyone else has them, right? So just take them off of everyone else's bodies. Like you'll play end game here and you'll probably pass up like look here. This freeze frame here, if we skip to it, I can see your inventory. You have 2 slots of medkits. So somewhere in the end game, whether you got a kill or you found somebody else's loot or you third party the fight, whatever it was, you got medkits. So that just shows you don't need medkits to go in game. You need a fighting loadout so that way you can fight for the medkits. Because you're not going to be able to, no matter what, even if you play the game perfectly, even if you're 5-5-5 in moving zones, that still won't be enough mats to take you to win the game. Like 99% of the time, unless you just get, you just keep getting 5-5-5 somehow, right? Like, so understand that you have to fight, and then that's when you get your medkits, and that's when you get your mats to extend the game and etc. So here, pop a fizz at the tunnel.
I mean, those just dropped an AR for 2 medkits.
And if you're faster with this, right, like just like I explained before, if you're able to go quicker, you're gone. Like you hit this right away, you're out. No one's shooting you because everyone else is in their map. So you go, this is fine. Going late is also not a big deal in this meta, right? Like it's not the biggest reason of losing the game. And in previous metas where there's no mobility, it matters even more to go early. Stare in your box, perfect. Yep.
Scan. Oh. They invite me.
So based off of how your game's gone so far, because you shot the guy on the bridge, you lost 100 wood, 100 brick. Because you fought the guy randomly in the middle game, you lost 100 wood. So that's already putting you at 300 wood, right? Now you've lost your brick because you built a big brick base in the previous zone, right? Which is fine. You want to be protected, but that should be where you're at. You should be 5, 5, 3, 5. Right? You fought a guy, you had to build over, like make extra space. That guy didn't give you mats, whatever, right? So you're playing a different game than somebody that's playing it perfectly. That's just not fighting. That's not, they're not going for stupid pushes, and they're playing for the win. And they're boxing in bushes, all that stuff.
No, I'm actually.
So here is an opportunity where you probably wouldn't want to go early, just based off of the scenario, right? Because if it pulls this way, again, if you pre-planned, just like I've talked about before, I'm gonna let's pull up Epic Pin here so everyone can see my drawings, my beautiful drawings. Go here, right? So, let's see, boom. Okay, so wherever the zone pulls, you have no idea, right? If it pulls this way, right? If the zone pulls the blue marker, you just know you'd go right through. You probably would want to go early because there's only, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. There's only a couple people to go through and you're in zone. But here's a scenario where it pulled not for you, right? This is a very, very bad zone for you, right? Like you have to go through all of these guys. You have to find out some way to go through these players. So this is a scenario where you wouldn't want to go early, but planning all of that ahead of time is something you can easily do, right? You can do it for all sides of zones here, right? It's not going to pull just to these exact angles, but it might be here, 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 whatever, right? But you can plan out what you might want to do on each of these rotates. That way, when you do have to execute it, you can do it perfectly. So here, you'd probably say, okay, look, if zone pulls this way, I'm going to wait and just nitro late. Use wood, nitro late.
It's not in.
So it pulls, and you just know. You already know what you're gonna execute. Use wood, nitro late. Boom.
I'm actually scared for these AP. I hope I don't.
Stare down in your box as soon as you can.
That counts for college credit.
Most. The better.
Same thing. You could plan the rotates. Okay, if it pulls this way, what do I do? Like again, you probably none of these rotates you would have gone early. Maybe this one, if it pulled the way you're looking, you would have instantly gone below height. Maybe that's something you could have considered. But I mean, in these later zones, like you don't have to have too much. Like there's not really a reason to go early, but there is a reason to plan the zones. This is all good. Box on top of this right here. This is a free refresh for anybody that wants it. Land on your head, put walls around you, pick extra cone, they're just gonna jump in. If they need it, they're going for it. This is it. You're handing it to them. Everyone can see you.
Someone's building a sky base.
And on top of this, like I showed earlier, if you were here, Rickstar, is when you're playing for solos and you're playing for the win in a meta that's not like this, even in a meta that's like this, that guy on height probably wins the game. Like 90% of the time, the win comes from high ground. And if you don't have an AR, you can't really even do anything to the guy in high ground. You can't shoot him out. You can't. There's nothing you can do. You can't try to take high ground here. You're like forcing yourself to one play style, and that's mid ground, low ground, which is just a mess, right? It's just more randomness, which is fine. I mean, again, you can win from anything. Like players win from every layer, but commonly it's going to be high ground. So here you go. I don't know if this is the reason why you go, but this is smart. You go below high ground. That's very smart because that's the only guy that can shoot you from above. So you don't have to block any angles from above. This is very
Where'd
good.
your duo go?
I don't know who's building those floors, by the way. Am I like,
Where'd
is it
your
Cash for the
duo
Ghosts?
go?
Like, who is building these floors? Who is building those floors, bro? What the what am I watching? There we go.
No.
I mean, so you would probably agree this strategy that you're doing it's not a bad strategy. You're saving a lot of mats, but again, you're kind of forcing yourself to play like this because of the way you played earlier, because you already are shambles mats. You already are 250 of each mat, right? You're less than that. So, and then again, you would probably agree, and just like everyone else in here would agree, that this is commonly not a great strategy because somebody can just box on top of you and smack your cone, and yeah, you can edit down, but then it's a fight, and then you burned more mats, and so it's like, do you play like this consistently? Probably not. Is this a one game thing? If it is, sure, this is fine. Like, you can play like this if you really, really have to. Pre-pop the fizz, which is really, really good. I like to see that because you know the zone's gonna go. Keep it ready. It pulls. Even though you don't have to go, you had it ready to go. It's good. So if you have an AR here, you could look up at height right now. Height has no idea you're in this cone. Pop your nitro, go around right. This is all good. Box right there. Oh, you get chopped out. Again, this is just like, if anybody wants a refresh, they can kill you the entire time right here. A nitro, if they put a wall on you and you don't even see, or like, let's say that wall behind you that you placed, if somebody runs against that wall, they will break you, and the wall and the cone will be broken. You are landing very elevated, which is good. I like to see this. Again, you can see height. Is this high ground? Like, this might be high ground. There might be a guy's sky base, but that's like, that's not really the battle that is needed right here. Like, you can just shoot the guy out, make him fall, spray him when he falls, damage him when he falls, burst, you know, kill him maybe when he falls, and then now you have high ground. Like, this is a game winner here. Because it looks like nobody's above you. But there's probably a guy. Oh, there's one guy. And that might be height. That might be the guy on ulti. If he wasn't getting shot from above, that's probably is the guy that is high ground. Same thing from lower ground. Like someone in this metal cone sees that you're in a floor. They all have to do is put a stair in you, phase up into your stair, and just kill you. This entire time though, right? There's multiple times this game where you could have taken height or looked at it or done anything, but you didn't have an AR. And you just couldn't, right? Like that is an easier game than what you're playing right now. Right now, you're just rotating, boxing. You're in the mess of everybody below you. All 10 players right now are all 8 of the other players are all below you with one guy above you, right? So you're just going to be caught in that mix the entire time if you don't try to go for high ground at all. Here is another opportunity to look at a height. You get elevated. If you have an AR, you can spray height out and go for height. You have great mats. Like you've been conserving it. Great. Get a kill. There's medkits and floppers, right? So imagine you have an AR. You just killed the guy that just gave you all your whites for the entire game. You don't need more than this medkits. Like 3 medkits and a flopper is easily heal off. You missed the flopper, which is fine. 5 medkits is definitely better. There you go. Like that's right there. There's your refresh. Again, you can get that every time. Looks like it's one guy in high ground. He's all the way up in metal. Imagine you have an AR. You can spray back in zone here. Oh, now you're back. And now you play medkit hit early. And then there you go. Again, that's just the mix of being on low ground. Like you had it, but you're the entire time, like you're just putting yourself in more, like it's just not as consistent as higher ground's going to be. If you just keep playing mid ground, the same result's going to happen a lot. Like you're just going to be getting knocked out. You're going to be getting killed randomly when you shouldn't have been. You know, you had great mats. It's just the way the meta plays. In the old metas, sure, this is fine. You go for the floppers, you die.
I just choked. And I'm not even trolling, but so on.
Yeah, so just like high ground right there. Run in the AR, you shoot out high ground, you go for high ground, boom. Even if you don't have to go for it. You could just like I showed you before, you could chop out high ground, wait a bit, chop out high ground, wait a bit. Eventually the guy's gonna have nothing, then you go for it. Boom. That was the easy win right there. Okay. Let's see, 51. Okay. Rico, let's watch it. 3rd place solo victory cup for Ceice. Let's go. So you're looting up off spawn. This is great. Right, you're doing your thing. You got a loot route in mind. You know what you want to farm. This is all good. This is good. You're just rotating around. It's perfect. You have a great loadout. Skip ahead here. You're on dead side. This is perfect. And you're in a bush. This is beautiful. Like you're not wasting any mats. Nobody knows you're here. Your next rotate was 10 times easier. You didn't waste any mats. Could you have sat in a bush? Probably. Oh, you go to old builds. Perfect. Yep, still max mats. Perfect. Cap your mats, yep. Right, back to 555. And you're in zone. Farm with the building. Yep, this is all good. This is perfect. Go back, get your mats back. Could have been a bit more proactive with that, right? You could have been tarped in ahead of time. It's like little things like that. Like it's not the biggest deal. You still have great mats, but keeping you capped is really important. You get zone, which is great. You get some refarm. You end up getting close back to cap, which is fine. You end up getting back to cap. Let's go. Perfect. So this is like kind of what I was showing you last game, Rickstar, is like this is what you want. This is 5-5-5. This guy's playing at maximum advantage. You know, he doesn't have to think about anything other than he could tarp it out and look at height. Pop a nitro, let's go. Run left there, you see the opportunity. So another thing you can do if you want to use it as like a rotate, what I like to do is if there's a lot of things I'll do here, right? So if there's a player based up on this hill, right? Or if he starts to build on this hill, right? Go as he's basing, right? So that's a great thing to do because he's not going to shoot at you while he's basing. He's busy building up in a tower, making his base, whatever. So same thing there, same thing here, right? You see a guy ramping to your left here? Go as he's ramping up, go as he's climbing. You know that's like that's probably the one guy that could stop and hold you. He's not even doing that. You can see what he's doing, right? So go now. I mean, you see it. Just go left up these wood ramps. Hard left here would have been good. Nitro and go hard left. Yep, perfect. It's a little delayed, and it gets you tanking some zone there, and maybe gets you focused if people see you running in this late. But this is fine, right? Like you did everything you wanted to do. This is a perfect position to be in, but you definitely could have done it earlier, and you just hesitated. So just be confident that like you are on the dead side there. There's only so many players over there. There's only 2 that you saw, that I saw, right? And you gotta go. Yep, zone pulls to you again. Now you just wait and you just go pop a nitro, use wood here, ramp up, right? Because if you just nitro and run on grass here, you're gonna be on the same layer as everybody else in front of you. So nitro, ramp up with wood, and then jump off. Let these guys go, let everyone go. This is fine. This is good. This is not good, right? So this is why you want to ramp up. This is why you want to stay elevated, right? You don't want to be in this mess of like that guy just running in your face there on accident. You have no idea he's there, right? So just right here, you have an opportunity to ramp up, put a floor, ramp up to that brick ramp right there. That's where you should be stopping. So you kind of don't, like, you're scared of building, whatever. And now you're just caught in the middle of zone here, running through the middle of zone on low ground, boxing in wood. So you might not have died here. I'm assuming you don't die if you get a 3rd place. But again, if you do this 100 times over, 80 of the 100 times you're going to die. Like, it's a high percentage chance you're going to die here. Next rotate goes. Or no, you're still going for this next zone. You're rotating. This is fine. Just imagine if you were just 3 layers higher. It would have been way, way less stressful. And this is a big part of the game of like throughout the entire of all competitive Fortnite is all about trying to keep yourself at a level head the entire time, right? Like if you're panicking and you're going through these moments, it doesn't look like you're panicking entirely, right? But like it's a stressful rotate. You're going through people. It's like you're going blind, right? So I always tell people to try and make your game as easy as possible. So layer up here, and your rotate would have been, nobody would have been by you. You wouldn't have. It would have been the same result. You would have been in the same spot, pretty much, but you would have had nobody near you. You would have just ran for free. Nobody would have shot at you. You wouldn't have got hit. You wouldn't have to worry about panic building, getting nitroed in on, right? Like this entire time, you're like stress levels at like a peak, right? Like you're like making sure you're not getting nitroed in on, this and that. Also, cones do nothing, by the way, against nitro. If someone wants to nitro you, all they have to do is nitro your wall, put a cone down, and they're gonna either cone you or you're gonna pop out of the cone and get killed. So stairs, 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 always stairs. And every rotate you're doing, again, this is just building on the same point of before. It was like, it feels so much more stressful and chaotic, but really it's a 21 player zone with 0 pros. I bet you there's maybe 1 or 2 decent players in this game. Everyone else is the guy in the chat, Nitro Splasher. Like that's the guy, those are the guys you're going against. They're just all randoms, right? Like this is like a free win for you is what I'm trying to say, right? So, but if you keep blind rotating in a free win, if I was to play like an East Open scrims or like the most easiest intro level scrims and I just didn't look at my zone one time, or I didn't like scout my rotate, or I did what you're doing here, it would feel like I'm playing against pros because you're not able to see the lobby. So here, look how dead it is. Like look how empty it is, right? You just would have nitroed and just ran for free. Look at this. Also, you have nitro and you're saving it. Just use it. It's okay. Just use it. If you run out of nitro, at least you didn't waste your mats, right? At least you got to a certain point. You don't need a nitro for a refresh. You know how to get a refresh without nitro. You could just jump in the box, right? So use your nitro, like especially here. Thank you. Okay. So now you go. Again, just like the last game we watched, you just keep putting yourself in the mess, right? You keep going to low ground, mid ground, low ground. Like get higher, right? Get that chance to look at high ground. You're just gonna get caught in the mess and get stared out or get nitroed and ran on. Like look at this. This only happens on this layer. So there goes 150 mats just off that random guy. He didn't kill you. Minus 150 mats. Again, steam back into the mess. Center of zone on low ground, waiting for someone to ram you. You go. Cool, perfect. Now you have a chance to get up here. Anybody that wants to nitro you, they have the opportunity, right? It's right there. It's given to them. They just run right into your box and it's a fight. And it might not kill you. You might kill them, but there's no siphon. You're gonna burn your floppers, you're gonna burn your minis, you're gonna burn more mats, you might die. That guy might have literally nothing, might have siphon builds, might have 0 builds. So you're not gaining anything. You're only gonna lose by being on this layer. I mean, same thing. You're seeing how stressful it is, right? There's so many people breaking into builds around you constantly. Someone's trying to jump in. Same thing here, right? Like you're using metal here, which is good, but like now it's a rotate. You can switch to wood here, 100%, right? So here, the zone, you're not in zone. The next place you box isn't going to be in zone. I know it's final zone, but I'm saying like use your wood earlier because the later, when it gets to the actual final 15 seconds, you're going to need that 120 metal. But instead, you kind of burn it. And again, you're not scouting the rotate because you keep constantly putting yourself in a cone, which just doesn't make any sense. Just put a stair down, understand the stair technique where you flip the stair, and then boom, you're good. Like you can look through your cone and you can plan every rotate. Instead it's blind here. You burn all of your metal. Just getting the front side here, back into a cone so you can't scout. It's like you're playing on actual hard mode. I would struggle playing on this, like 100%. If I was doing this, I would struggle. Seven players alive. You're doing good though. I mean, you're here. Again, the big thing that you're not doing consistently is just keep staying ahead. It's okay to just tarp out here. You keep going, stopping, going. Just in the final zone, just keep coning out. Like edit this wall and just cone out right here. You can see how free it is. There's nobody on your layer. Just cones out in front of you. Claim this layer. This is just, see how random this feels? And then you already burnt a flopper. You've already tanked zone. Storm sickness is going to get you if it goes to a major heal off. Right? Like you're burning more mats by just boxing. Just cones. Keep trying to force box here. Goes down to final heal off. Now you're out of mats. And then the guy wins on height. I believe that guy wins, right? Oh no, he goes for heal off. Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to win this exact scenario, you could have just sat in zone, used your 2 floppers, killed the guy on low ground. Maybe he had more floppers, more medkits. Who knows what he had? Medkits, right? So you would have sat in zone, popped your floppers. He would have been out in the middle, not building. You would have killed him, grabbed his medkits, played medkits, and won the game. Boom. But in general, like the entire time, you're just struggling because you're just boxing, running, just cones out on this final zone here. It would make it a ton easier. This guy in height, let's see what he has. I can't see what his medkit's. Unlucky. He has a medkit. I don't know what he has, but doesn't matter. High ground wins games. So it was a great game. You pulled really good zones. You had great mats, and then you hesitated on that like half and half zone. Just go. Just understand why you should go. You should go because you see not many people on that side. You see 2 people. You see them building. Like They're not looking back at you. So that's a free opportunity for you to go, right? And then every time in the moving zones, you just kept putting yourself in a cone, which is not a counter to the nitro. Someone can still do the exact same thing. Just run in your box and break the cone instantly with the wall and put a cone down and kill you. Or just simply run in the box while you're just sitting in a cone because you're unaware of everyone around you. So put a stair down, do the stair flip technique, and then you're good. Cool. I don't think I have time to watch any more of these games, like fully. Like I'd want to watch this game, but I want to go deep into it. But I have another obligation. I need to be in 20 minutes. So I'm going to take this time to just answer some questions and kind of go over those games. If Rico and Rickstar have any questions, or if you guys have any questions about what we just watched, yeah, let's get it active. We can go back to the question channel if we don't get any questions, but yeah, 10-minute gameplay will take me 20 minutes to look over. Unless you want me to just sit here and watch 10 minutes and just, it's just not going to be useful for you. You played very good. Oh, I didn't see your game, Fecky, did I? Unlucky. Dude, I don't know. That was crazy. That was like some server lag or something. Do I have a video on a routine? I don't have a video on a routine, no. But it's kind of preference, right? Like whatever you feel like your routine is, there you go. You kind of just tweak it yourself. Do I prioritize center or dead side in early zones? You should prioritize max mats in a bush or max mats on a refarm. Bushes, a building is great too because you can just sit in the building and wait for someone to run in and get a free refresh. There's your mats. I was in the cone shot because DJ said it's smart. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, you guys all understand that if you nitro into a wall, it breaks the wall and the cone. Like here, let me look at this clip. Imagine this is you, bro. Cease. Imagine this is you guys. Watch this clip. This is you. No cone. Doesn't matter.
What the fuck's he supposed to do?
That guy's no cone.
I actually don't know. Like
All right, next kill here. This guy has a cone. Ready?
like this guy.
Nitro?
Like what? Like. Oh,
He's got a cone down. This is you, right? You're in a cone. Great, cool.
I just boxed up.
Doesn't matter. Now it's his cone. Now you're dead. Like, so is that a counter? I don't know what Destiny's saying for that. That's actually crazy that he said that.
Boring. You can't even fly. I guess go fly in now. Oh,
This guy's a stair. Doesn't matter. Back to the wall.
Want some too?
Like the stair didn't break, which is great, right? That's why stairs are really good because that guy could have been on the stair, or he could have done the stair technique where you flip the stair into a certain way.
Want some too? Oh, this guy just killed somebody. He's probably low. I'm just gonna get in for fun.
Same thing. If this guy's on a stair that's flipped, that's like all the edits, right? Where you kind of go in a half circle, then he's able to live this a little bit more likely. Again, it's at the end of the day, it's Cooper King in your box. If this is you, no matter who you are, even me, it's probably a hard fight. Like it's just going to be annoying. He's just running in the box. He has the nitro on. He has a good shotgun. It's not ideal. Like, but still, that just shows that it doesn't matter. You don't sit in the cone. Is the only counter to build is a flip stair? Yeah, the only counter. I kind of drew it earlier, but let me see. Like, stair edit. I could probably just launch my game, but yeah. If we look at the stair here, okay. The only thing you can do on Nitro, the best thing you can do is flip your stair like this. Let me do a different color, right? You go like this all the way around, right? It could be the other way too. You could go all the way this way too. It doesn't matter. You flip your stair because that makes you like this. There you go. There's a guy drawing right here. That's what you want to do. That'll give you the most protection. So the best strat is saving mats for second moving and taking height to play mats. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The best strategy in solos, if we're going to summarize it in a couple words, is you save your mats, keep your AR, look at height, shoot height out, go ahead. Look at height, shoot height out, go ahead. Eventually height will have nothing, you go for it. If you can't get it, no big deal, because then you just play what you've always been playing, which is a mid ground, low ground, and it's the mess, right? Like sometimes there's going to be a player in your game. Let's use Peterbot, for example. He's on high ground. I'm trying to take it from him. It's just not going to be that easy. Like, he's going to know how to connect. He's going to be efficient with it. Like, good. Like, we all understand when we look up and we see a good player on height. They're connecting. But all the games that I watch, the players on height are just not good. So you can just spray them out, and that's majority of the games. It's not like you're in a game with Peterbot every single time. You're in a game with, like, these games right here that we just watched, no pros were in this lobby. This entire lobby, no pros. And again, you don't know that, but you can see that when you're playing moving zones. You can kind of visualize when you look at height how bad the guy is or how good he is. So yeah, the best thing you can do is just spray out height, tarp ahead, look up a height, spray out height, tarp ahead. Don't go for it until they're actually out of mats, until they're really weak, and then you just build fight for it. And then you eventually, they're going to have literally nothing because they've been connecting the entire time, wasting all their mats. And all you've been doing is just running on low ground or running on mid ground, high mid ground, and just taking it. And then you take it. And if you don't have whites, let's say like you have to tank for a zone to take height, whatever. If you get it, guess what? You have a top down view on the entire zone. So all you have to do is just look in zone. Oh, there's medkits there. Guy died. Oh, this guy died. I just killed him because he's not blocking his head. Okay, I jumped in his box, dead. Now I got more medkits. Like, you see, everyone in the end game has medkits. Every time we watched both these games, the players that were either watching, or the players that they killed, or the players they died to, right? Like the last guy we watched, he killed a guy and got medkits out of it, right? Like, he killed this guy and got medkits. That guy has medkits for him. If you're on high ground and you get this kill, you get medkits. If you kill both these guys, right, you got floppers off this guy's body and you got medkits off the guy in zone. And of course, you have your own medkits too. So it's smart to have your own medkits. Eventually, you will get your own medkits throughout the game. Or if you want, you can carry medkits. It's not the worst thing in the world to carry 3 medkits, but don't feel like you need to carry them. Like, if your loadout isn't great, or you don't have great heals, or you know it's a bad zone for you, fight. You can fight. You can get a refresh. You can always get medkits later on. Confidence is going to be off just repetition, right? If you are routinely doing the same thing, you're going to be confident over it. And it's also preparation, right? If you're going into solos and you haven't prepared and it's your first tournament of the season, are you going to be confident? No. If you've been preparing and you've been in these VODs and you've been studying and you've watched other pros and you've watched your own games back and you play solos again at the end of the season, are you going to be confident? I mean, simply look at it. Your first solo event of the season, how confident were you? Your last solo event of the season, how confident were you? There is a guaranteed difference between the first and the last. I don't care if you didn't study the game at all. I don't care if you just played the first one, then took a break and quit and came back. You at least have a base to start off. You at least know that Nitro does this. You at least know that you need medkits for this. So you're like building off of it, right? So just keep building off of it. And that's how you build confidence. Preparation. How many layers above should be off low ground? I mean, low ground always changes, right? Based off elevation, but I would say a couple layers, right? Like 3 or 4 layers. Yeah. Do you think you'll do another POI breakdown? Possibly. Yeah, it takes a while. It's like 6 hours and then some change. The big reason why I did this Ritzy one is, it's all on YouTube, by the way. All this has been posted. This is obviously older. This is from the start of the year. But the reason why I did this is to show you guys what you should be doing for yourself, right? Like, this is like not for you to learn from it. I'm not doing this so you guys have a POI to go to, because then at the end of the day, all of you guys are going to go to the same spot if it's there, right? And that's not very advantageous. So take this channel and say, okay, wait, what did Ceice do for notes? Okay, so he just took notes over the common things. Okay, here, what about building? Okay, so he made a callouts channel. Okay, that's good to have. Let me do that for my own POI. Okay, he had a drop mat channel. Okay, that's great. And he had a picture. That's great. Okay, let me copy that. Surge. Okay, he had options A, B, C. Okay, that's great. Let me try to do something like that. Loot route. Okay, he had loot routes for him and his teammate. Let me try to do that for my spot. It's just to show you guys what it looks like for a pro to do a POI breakdown. So you can do it for your own, right? What about game plan for the off spawn? This is how Ceice did his game plan for Ritzy. Okay, so how can I do this for my spot? How can I take this and put it into my spot? It's very simple. How do I get sprayed less by being height if I'm on by height if I'm on second height? Yeah, it depends on who's on height, right? Like, if you want to get sprayed less, be second height, if that makes sense. Like, be second to second height. So like, if we draw paint on that here, let me boot it up here. Right, so here's high ground, right? Here's second height, right? And here's like second to second height, or like technically mid ground, right? And then here's ulti low, right? And then here's like the guys on mid ground, whatever. Okay. Right, like you can be this guy, and this guy's not going to get sprayed until this guy drops. If this guy drops, then you're getting sprayed, right, from above. Right, so just always put yourself below second height, so that way, because even in this and both these positions here, both these boxes with circles in it, right, both these guys can look at height here. You can look at height from the back. You can look at height from the back. So it's still the same advantageous position, right? You can still go for height from either of these spots. Cool. How do you combat nerfs? Preparation, man. Preparation. Think about a scenario in your life where you prepared for something and think about how nervous you were. You probably weren't at all, right? I use the example of like a math test. If you were to take a math test right now of addition, are you going to be nervous going over a simple addition math test? I would hope not. All right, 2 plus 2, 5 plus 5. I hope not. But if it's your first time ever understanding addition, what does that even mean? What am I looking at? You might not be nervous because it's a math test, right? At the end of the day, it's not like it's, you know, it's a paper, but like, you get what I'm saying. Yeah, you can send any VOD you want. Do you always want to rotate dead side, or is rotating congested side okay? Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it depends on the zone. It's a super situational thing, right? Like, we can go back to this Fortnite thing, right? Like, if this is, let's just say there's a ton of people. Let me just actually draw this. Let's just say there's a ton of people all over here, right? There's just a load of people here, right? Like, this is like the hot side zone. But if, you know, maybe there's nobody over here. There's like, let's just do this. Maybe they're all on this side, right? Like, it's okay to rotate through this, but it's probably better to go this way. Like, it's not like the end of the world to get here. Again, the game is so beautiful in the sense that like you can go through that. You could literally go like this through this mess and still win the game, because there's so many times throughout this end game, throughout the later parts of this game, where you can get a refresh, where you could go for height, you could kill a guy, you could still make your mats work. You could make this rotate really, really good. Like, it doesn't have to be so shambles. Yeah, what I'll do here. Okay, so this is the only time I'll ask for anything, and the only reason I'm asking for this is because this helps us. This helps you guys. This helps keep it going. If you guys could, you don't have to. Don't feel obligated. Literally, I don't care if any of you guys do it. I already have a couple of people that are boosting it, which I appreciate you guys. But if you guys could boost the server, it's at 16 boosts right now. If it drops below a certain amount of boost, we lose the Discord URL. Right now we have it, discord.gg/thesis, right? If it drops below it, we lose that. What I'll do is, I will post all of my main Kovac scenarios in this booster general. So this is a private chat that's just with the boosters, right? As you can see, there's only a couple people in here, right? I'll post all my Kovac scenarios. So if you want my Kovac scenarios, or you want what I'm doing for aim training, I'll post it in here. I feel like that's a great way to reward you for boosting it, since it's I think it's free or very cheap, and it helps out the community and it helps you out. It's a win-win-win for everybody. Again, also, I'm releasing a video on aim training in the next week and a half. So some of my scenarios will be in that video, not all of them, but I'll try to post as many as I can in the booster general chat. So that way, when you do boost the server, you have access to the Kovac scenarios that I do. The Kovac is a very, very broken application. Very broken game. Cool. Let's see if there's any more questions in here. If my drop is pink in Vico's old drop, should I play it like them, or should I VOD review as I VOD reviewed them, or make my own gameplay? Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. You should. Like, playing it like Pink and Vico is probably the best way to do it. I tell this a lot. Like, if you're landing at Nitrodome, okay, Kanata and Cooper land there on NA. Not saying they're the best team in the world, but there is a team at every spot in the POI that's the best team there. I think we can use Clix and Vino as an example. They are probably the best team in the world at this spot. Like, I would say hands down. I don't know any players that land there on any other region, but they're definitely the best team there, right? So if you want to land here, your best team to watch is Clix and Vino, right? And it goes for every spot on the map. Yamzo and Tayson, they land around here. If you want to land here, your best team to watch is Yamzo and Tayson. No matter what region you're on, watch Yamzo and Tayson. They play the spot the best. They play the every part of the game, cash cups, opens, round 2, round 3, round 4, scrims, everything. They play that spot perfectly. So that's going to be the best way to master a spot. And then again, you can go through and you can make this channel, like the Ritzy channel. You can watch them and learn, like, you can go get the exact loot route that a Yamzo and Tayson do in their round 4. They did it. Like, what they did is they didn't just troll in the game. Like, everyone in round 4 is doing what they would do in a grand finals. If it was today, they're trying their best to win the tournament, right? For the most part. Like, Clix and Vino, of course, they won the tournament. So everything they did was to win the tournament. They're not playing to just troll the tournament. They're playing to win, right? So if there's a grand finals tomorrow, they're going to do the same thing they did yesterday to win the grand finals. Does that make sense? So if you went and you got exactly the loot route that Yamzo does, exactly the route that Vino and Clix do for their spot, and you got the exact strats, how they play, when do they go for the hills, why do they go for these hills, you know, where do they shoot for surge, who do they shoot at for surge, like all those little strategies you can have in the game plan here, or like in your POI breakdown, and you can play it exactly like them and copy paste their game. Of course, like your aim, your bot, your piece, all that stuff skill is a little bit different because nobody's going to be exactly like Clicks or Vino, but that's a great way to do it. How do you stay consistent throughout tournaments? I always start good and end bad. Is that because of overconfident and making dumb plays? It's all about pacing yourself. And then what I like to do between tournaments is there's always like, for everyone, it's different, right? For me, right, I feel like my worst hour is my last hour. Like I'm like locked in, laser focused for the first hour. I'm locked in, laser focused for the second hour. And then my last hour, I feel like there's a dip there. Like there's a small little dip. If there was like a chart, you would see like it would just slightly go down just a little bit on like my hour, hour left when I'm trying to play 3 games out. Like there's a little dip there. So I've noticed that. So what I do is I get up, take a break, walk around the room right before I'm about to play it. I try to re-go through my game plan. So every time I play a tournament, I'll read through an old Discord because I don't want to share my actual Chapter 5 game plan. So here we go. Right. So here is an old Chapter 4 Discord that I have. I've showed this before, but let me find a game plan channel. It's probably... Okay, here we go. Right. So imagine this is your game plan. Okay. So this is your game plan. If you know that your worst hour is your last hour, like me, right? Read through your game plan, share with your teammate. Okay, hey, look, maybe it doesn't have to be this in depth, right? It could just be like, all right, look, we're going to loot up, pass this game. We're going to go for forecast. We're going to key this one team that we key every time. And then we're going to box up. We're going to play mid game perfectly. And we're going to play end game, sides of zones and go for height. Like just read through your game plan, reestablish what you want to do. Cause it can get really messy, right? Like let's just say you have a bad like second hour, like you might be caught in your head. You might be, might be all over the place. So it's a great way to just rebalance yourself. Take a break. Maybe I don't do caffeine that much, but if I'm feeling tired, I'll drink some caffeine to wake myself back up. Or sometimes like a sports drink, like a Gatorade helps me just like I guess electrolytes. I don't know what the science behind that would be, but I just feel like sugar, maybe it's the sugar in the drink. I don't know. Just like gets me back up to like a functioning spot. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, we'll wrap this up here. I know this wasn't the entire hour and a half, but look, I'm here every Tuesday. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this completely free. I'm not going to ask you guys I'm not going to charge you guys to be a part of this. This is essentially a free class, a free masterclass, a free VOD review, a free study session, a free time to learn the game. And I hope that I can help you guys. I do feel guilty and bad that I can't get to every question in every game because I just want to help you guys. I'd love to sit here for hours. Like I could go on and on and on, but I feel like I have to continue to limit myself to help over a longer amount of time. If I was to sit here every day and do 5 hours of question and answers, we could go forever, like endlessly, right? But eventually I'm going to get burnt out. But if I pace myself an hour and a half a day, hour and a half every Tuesday, I'm confident I can show up every Tuesday and give you guys my best hour and a half to help you guys as much as possible in that hour and a half. So that's what we're going to do. And so I'm going to call it here. Thank you guys for coming by. Again, if you guys have any questions, I stream every day on Twitch. Pop by, ask a question. I'm happy to answer it there. It's kind of like a way for me to multitask. I can stream, compete, and answer your guys' questions at the same time. So again, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to quickly just read through. So if you guys are still here and still not sure how to submit your gameplay, it's going to be on the day. So next Tuesday, I'm going to post a thing in here, just like I did here. So it says an hour ago for your timestamp. I'm going to post this after this. But next Tuesday, it's on the day. Submit your gameplay on the day, okay? The best format is going to have priority. So recorded gameplay uploaded to Google Drive, session IDs, regular replays. It's all access. You guys can read this channel. So you'll see here, right? Footage submit. We had a lot of gameplay submitted, right? Fecky sent replays. The first thing I skipped over it, went to Rickstar, went to Rico, and then I didn't get to the other ones, right? And I also was going to skip over Fuego because this is just not as good as Proverbs video, right? So if I kept going, I would have gone to Proverbs, would have gone to Taco, would have skipped this, gone to J, skip P, right? So like in a scenario where I don't know if this is going to happen based off of the way it's been these last 2 times, but in a scenario where there's 0 people showing up, maybe 5 people, and all 5 people only have replays, then of course I'm not going to sit here and say, no, I'm not watching it. I'm going to watch your replays. But if there's videos, I'm going to watch the videos over anything else. So yeah, that's it. That's how you submit your gameplay. It's on the day. Again, it starts by questions, so have your questions ready. We'll do about 30 minutes of Q&A, and then we'll hop into about an hour and a half of gameplay watching, or about an hour and 10 minutes, whatever. That's kind of what we did today, and that's it. So appreciate you guys here for being here. Thank you guys for being a part of this. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Yeah. Alrighty. Keep grinding, and good luck in FNCS, all right? Well, thank you guys for being a part of that. I really do appreciate you guys hopping in that. I mean, that's a crazy thing to think about, even 50 people wanting to listen to me talk about competitive Fortnite. I'm glad to be able to help you guys. And then on YouTube as well, I'm glad to be able to help you guys as well. So thank you guys for that. Yeah, hope to see you guys in there next week, and we'll call it here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.